It's not often that we see a video game franchise make a successful jump from its natural home environment to the big screen. There have been many attempts by the various studios, with varied degrees of success at the box office. Many, like the 1993 nightmare that was the Super Mario Bros., haunt the 1990s generation, while others, like Pokémon the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, go on to produce some reasonable success and spawn a number of movies at the box office which appear to do well. But what about the adult audience, as this is, after all, where the real money lies. In 2002, British director Paul W.S. Anderson took the bull by the horns and helped to launch a franchise that has taken over $675 million at the box office, and this year sees its fifth outing with Resident Evil Retribution. Retribution boasts the return of many of the cast members from the previous movies, with Milla Jovovich back in the leather ass-kicking heels of Alice, Shawn Roberts as Albert Wesker, Sienna Guillory as Jill Valentine, Michelle Rodriguez as Rain, Boris Kojo as Luther West, and Oded Fehr as Carlos. While added to the cast is Bingbing Li and Johan Erb, who play two other well-known characters in the Resident Evil world, Ada Wong and Leon Kennedy. Retribution picks up mere seconds after Afterlife finished, aboard the Arcadia, and an invading Umbrella Strike team taking control of the ship, led by Alice's former teammate, Jill Valentine. After an interesting reverse and playback opening sequence aboard this boat, we get down to the real story. Alice has been kidnapped and taken to Umbrella Prime, a testing facility where she's being interrogated by Jill Valentine for the reasons why she turned on Umbrella Corporation. However, a security breach occurs and Alice escapes to an area that looks a lot like Tokyo, and we see the opening sequence of Afterlife played out once again, but this time Alice is in the city being chased by the undead. After some impressive shooting and killing of the undead, we are finally treated as to just what the hell is going on here. It is revealed that Albert Wesker, in partnership with Ada Wong, were behind the break-in, all in an effort to break Alice out of the facility as they need her. But what is standing in their way is the Red Queen, for which you may recall was the psychopathic AI of the first movie, who is now in control of this facility and its bioweapons. What follows is a race out of the facility with Alice and a strike team who have been sent in to battle their way out as what can only be described as the greatest villains of the Resident Evil movie franchise, combined with a few pieces of video game canon injected into the movie to ensure its freshness. This is done in the form of the Las Plagas pathogen from Resident Evil 4 and a horde of the undead infected with it. But let's break this down into the main question. Is this movie worth your hard-earned cash? Usually I'd sit on the fence and say this depends on a number of factors, but in reality I can't justify recommending people see this movie in theatres for a few reasons. The first of these is the 3D. It's my personal view that 3D is a gimmick, and that the industry has adopted this as a means of piracy protection, and increasing the ticket prices without much questioning from its audience. While there are good examples of how to add depth with 3D, this is clearly not one of them, and it really finds itself stuck in the "hey, you'd better watch out as this axe flies towards the camera, woo." Here the 3D is nothing more than a toy that has been poorly bolted on in post-conversion. But poor 3D isn't enough of a reason not to see this movie in the theatre. The main reason is that the movie isn't really a full movie, such as the trends with movie studios of recent times to split the final bow into two pieces in an effort to maximise the story and profits. This makes Retribution feel more rushed and very much like the setting of the scene for the finale, which after the numerous plots that Paul W.S. Anderson has spun over the last 10 years come together, while at the same time seeking to overlook some of the plot holes from previous movies, such as, where did Chris Redfield go? In essence, creating a greatest hits or greatest kills of the series. Throw into the mix what has been seen in most of the previous movies, such as poor acting, bad lighting and predictable plots, then you have yourself a movie that really doesn't justify spending good amounts of money at the theatre. But, yes, and there is a but here, this movie is still worth watching, just on a different medium, such as on demand, home release, or while it airs on the TV, as this is the continuation of the story after all. And if you are like me, have been investing 10 years in this story, then you should be able to sit through the 96 minutes of rehashing of stories already told. In reality, this isn't the continuation of the form that we saw return in Afterlife, after the rather dull outing was Apocalypse, but more a holding pattern for the final showdown, which we should expect in some time of 2014. That is, unless the Mayans were right in their predictions after all. Many thanks for watching. Please remember to leave a comment, share and feedback your ideas for future shows to me over Twitter at Dr Dogbert and the comments section below. Oh, and one more thing. It appears the only way to really survive these apocalypse situations is to somehow work within the company that creates it. So, does anyone know if any jobs are going spare at Umbrella Corporation?